Peace and love to everyone. Louisiana 365 in the motherfucking building. Hey, he pro-black because of George Macon, whatever that dude name was. I think that was his name, George Macon. He got that. I think it's a non-profit school. He got some shit called it's at the tip of my tongue. Some Urban Nerds. That's the name of it. I guess he got an institution that helps young kids to develop in science, technology, engineering, and math. He hopped on a typical bandwagon of the STEM program, and now he's offering it to ghetto kids, to say the least. So I'm not taking nothing away from the man. You can commend him, but with that, all that shit have already been said by Didac. It was just unfortunate that it fell on deaf ears when Didac said it. So my essence in itself created that wave. All that shit came to surface for a reason. But I ain't here to dwell on that, but just to entertain that statement. Louisiana, yeah. George Macon made him pro-black. That's who made him pro-black. And then Taz was trolling in terms of what I know as trolling. And that was trolling because he was trying to get Sanchez into arguments, whereas whereas he will try to move on to his talking points. I'm talking about Sanchez because he was really trying to stay with that Candace Owens shit or whatever. That dude George Macon came up there and steered that motherfucker straight to the left. See, yeah, he kowtows to people who has a following, to say the least. So what you just witnessed on Sanchez shit was just that. You know what I mean? And when I said my piece, a lot of people don't know that I was saying some underneath shit that applied to Sanchez, especially when it comes down to agents. When I say spy versus spy, agent versus agent, somebody in the chat took the time out to listen to it and they put it in a chat room that said agent versus agent. Somebody heard me. That's all I need. That's all I need. But here today is about the 36 motherfucking chambers, y'all. We finna decode and recode, right? Recoding, we finna rewrite the alma mater. We finna rewrite the real reason what is meant behind the 36 chambers. All right. It's a Tao Chinese philosophy that was taken from the Ogdoadic in the way they group their deities in terms of what the deities are responsible for. Every culture has it. Don't get it fucked up. I mean, every advanced culture, we're going to put it to you like that. And what I mean by advanced, I'm talking about non-plagiarized advanced cultures. They have these systems in place to describe certain phenomena. They give it certain names. It's no different from the Ogdoadic and it being translated thousands and thousands of years later to Taoism or Taoism. So now here we are in a mystic system where if there was a search and saying, okay, I found it, I'm just letting y'all know it's in the Ogdoadic, but expressed in philosophy and philosophies, it is definitely in Taoism. So when Wu-Tang Clan reintroduced the 36 chambers to the world, it reopened the eyes or opened the eyes to those who found themselves spiritually synced in with Chinese philosophy. And as we know it, and probably still to this day, niggas watch more Chinese movies than anybody. And anyway, I'm sorry. And with that being said, we have to know what this interconnection is in terms of why we so desire the if there is any other culture outside of what we know as, and I'm saying this loosely, Black culture. Outside of that, and I'm talking about here in America also, we tend to gravitate towards Eastern Asia in terms of that, Philippines and shit like that. These people practice what we think where white supremacy has scrubbed what Taoism is, because Buddha is a motherfucking black goddamn deity. We all know this, but of course that the Chinese, when they get their hands on it, they'll wash it. And right now, just like with the United States government, just like with the Chinese government, they pretty much control what we would consider curriculum, right? So when we read it, we got to know how to read in between the lines, right? We're going to have to learn how to use evaluative comprehension. And then now we can start to apply it. Because once we read in between the lines, that's when we begin to spit out the bone. So with that being said, the 36 chambers being reintroduced by the Wu-Tang Clan, to say the least, I think it was it was like a frame to a car. It didn't have no wheels. I give them the benefit of the doubt. It didn't have no wheels though. It didn't have nothing on it. It didn't have no body, no motor, none of that shit. I'm finna show you where the body and the motor is. Now, putting it together, you know, to say the least. Engineers are different. The concept is the same. And this is what I mean. When they introduce the concept is the same. When you can rebuild your frame. Some motors are sidewinders versus front motors. You got straight and V8 motors. You got different size cylinders, right? Different number of cylinders. So the engineering in itself, right, can change, but the base is there. The base is there. And that's what I mean by this. All right. Now follow me. All right. When Wu-Tang introduced the 36 chambers, they had a frame of a car. They didn't have no wheels, no engine, none of that shit on it. It was just a frame of a car. It was the base. Now, coming upon people with greater minds, they were able to put, what would you call that? Exterior and interior around that frame to make that frame come to life. Now, this is Didax, right? I am one of a billion people in this world, or a trillion, however many people in this world. You know, everybody should have a doppelganger. I don't know if anybody know what doppelganger is, but I don't know if everybody got a doppelganger. But with that being said, I don't think that I'm the only person that thinks like this. So great minds, to say the least, think alike. So I don't think I'm the only person in the world who's thinking like this. But if there was a such thing that no one led me to the door to open it up, I found the key to open up this door, and we finna recode the 36 chambers. And in recoding that 36 chambers, if y'all pay attention to my avatar, which is the key to the 36 chambers. And I know a lot of people take it probably for granted, and they probably say, oh, those are nothing but a bunch of dots. You're right, they are. They digits. That was your first system of mathematics, not writing numbers. You never wrote numbers yet. So since we are dealing with numbers, right, since we know 0 is a number, because I'm going to show you the digit code in this oscillator, because remember we talk about the 8 is the oscillator. I'm going to show you that, and also show you where the 36 chambers is, and then I'm going to explain the Taoism 36 chambers versus the movie. The movie concept in itself, right? The 36 chambers, right? The concept of the 36 chambers, right? In the movie comes from, one second. Oh, sorry for that delay. The 36 chambers in its first original concept came through Taoism. Now, let's define what Taoism is. Taoism is a practice of studying and living the laws of the universe. It has its roots in the body of knowledge that many masters have gathered over the thousands of years. This is what Taoism is. It's cosmic healing, right? It's universal applications and practices, and it's being harmonious, because a lot of people don't understand what harmony means, because a lot of people equate harmony with peace, but with Taoism, who also speaks in duality, they know for a fact that your peace is unedible without chaos. It's unavoidable. It's going to be with chaos, in other words. So when you talk about harmony, when you meet those two in the middle, because remember I told y'all about most people pays attention to what's above and so below, but never pay attention to what's in the middle. I'm going to have y'all to focus again on the middle, and given that that's harmony. And when you in harmony, which 36 Chambers is going to teach in terms of what Wu-Tang Clan introduced into the psyches of young black boys to where they at right now, and they can say, oh, this is what it means, and symbolically them having 9 members and all that shit, blah, 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 skippy woo woo, with all that having a meaning, right? We have to understand the root of this and what flower did it grow out. Now, I'm taking it back as the oscillator that I am, and I'm going to take it forward as the power that I am. And with that being said, to get an idea from the beginning that, of course, when you go back to the counting system, everybody in the world went by a 10-base system, period. Point blank, the whole entire world. The whole entire world operated on the decimal system, period. And with that being said, the developments that was going on in Egypt, and yes, I'm pointing to Egypt, all the developments of mathematics that was going on in Egypt was being heard around the world, just like how America is today in terms of her attraction to the world. Egypt was once upon a time. So great philosophers were coming to Egypt to learn. So there's Genghis Khan, and what's the other one name? He went to Egypt. What's his name? Hold on, let me get his name out. Right quick. I think his name is Chi Kung. Chi Kung of the I Ching. He go to Africa to go learn. So with that being said, keeping with tradition, a lot of philosophies which come out of Egypt have blossomed into a different kind of flower, in terms of, if you're expecting to see a lotus flower, you get a touch-me-not or a rose or something like that. So Chinese took it and put their philosophy on the base, and they built a beautiful building with it. They did. So when Wu-Tang Clan seen this beautiful building, and when we all seen the beautiful building, we all was attracted to it from the 70s, 80s. I would even give to the early 90s, to the point where it transferred over to what you call Japanimation and Dragon Ball Z, because most people they didn't want to see the Kung Fu movies no more, but look at the art. The art got passed on to several motherfucking movies. One famous one is The Matrix. But with that being said, when you look at that martial art, because when you look at my title, because I got a title, Art of Martial, course. And when you look at my subtitle, which is even more rawer, the ill will of the art that will have you in a eerie place. Yep. We're going to break that all down because that belongs to the 36 chambers. And we're going to rewrite the code. We're going to recode it. Peace and love to Star Energy in the motherfucking building. With that being said, okay, what we know as the 36 chambers today. All right. Hold on. All right, the 36 chambers today is based off, like I said, Wu-Tang Clan introduced the philosophy of Chinese philosophy. We're gonna say Asian philosophy that they turned into some type of heroic movie, which they call Wu-Tang versus Shaolin. Entered to the 36 chambers. All right. This was a movie. Indeed, it was a movie. It was never a book. It's not a novel. It's not a textbook. It's none of that shit. It's a movie. It's a movie based off of Chinese Taoism philosophies and how the Buddhists live, how the monks live. And what they were just doing, which is a time period movie, because for the most part, damn near all Chinese movies take place before in antiquity, like year 700 or some shit, sometimes 1100. It depends on the time period. Sometimes they go to 1400. Because if you ever notice, nothing is modern in these kung fu movies. And they were shooting the movie with modern cameras because you would have dumb people to think that that's how Chinese people live. Like they think that's how niggas live with balls on their head and bones in their nose. They that goddamn stupid to believe that. So Chinese people are not living like they depict on these kung fu movies. So given the time period, right, they heavily poured in their Asian philosophies, which I will try to give the benefit of the doubt here and have the room for error. 85% of the philosophy, though, that was preached was absolute truth. 15% of it was probably blown out of proportion. You understand what I'm saying? Like the flying shit, but some human beings think they can fly without an apparatus, to say the least. Not all, just some, especially in a dream. The number picks up in the dream. In the dream world, the number definitely picks up that for those who feel like they can fly. And that's an exaggeration in the Kung Fu movie. That's what I'm talking about. That's the 15%. But the 85% is the way they pray, the way they meditate, the way they practice medicine, the way they etiquette, all that shit. All that shit still remain the same. Now that remains the same. The etiquette, their meditations, their medicine practice, because acupuncture, which is what they consider to be a form of medicine, like if you would go to Dr. Sabi, right? But they incorporated that into their modern medicine, though. That's the reason why America copied that. You know those glass balls that they heat up and they put it on a human's body, and the vapors will suck up like what do they call that shit? Damn, is at the tip of my fucking tongue. It's at the tip of my fucking tongue. Suction. There it is. It will cause a suction on your skin, and then they'll pop the motherfucker off like they'll pop the glass off, and you have like a huge ass hickey on your back or wherever they put it. Sometimes they put it on your shoulder, your arm. That's Chinese medicine. And that is practiced in today's sports. And sports medicine is the most advanced medicine besides the Mayo Clinic. You know, you got the Mayo Clinic, you got Chicago Institution, you got these, you know, high-tech ass motherfucking, but sports medicine, it was the time where if you tore a ligament, you out for the whole year. Man, they're go on your knee with a needle now. Microscopic surgery, as they call it. They'll go on your motherfucking knee and repair that bitch, and you'll be ready to go in 2 weeks. But the Ogdoadic has rooted all of this. So the Chinese pours their philosophies inside of these movies, and one of the movies that we're going to talk about is Wu-Tang versus Shaolin, 36 Chambers. And this is where we know as RZA, Jizza, Inspector Dat, You God, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon the Chef. I probably forgot some other ones, to say the least. Old Dirty Bastard, blah, 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 Skippy Woo Woo, were all 9 of the members, right? When they formed this rap group, they reinsurged Chinese philosophy. That's the reason why what's his name was coveted. RZA, he was coveted by Quentin Tarantino when he was doing those Kill Bills and shit. He really respected RZA's perspective on shit. He let RZA do the score. Trust me. And then RZA was sometimes wearing the robe, whatever the fuck that you want to call it, whatever the name is for it, but you know those robes that the Chinese motherfuckers be wearing or the Asian people wearing, you saw RZA with that shit on. But none of the motherfucking less inhabiting that culture is second nature for us as black folks. So when they said the 36 Chambers and how they explained it, because they took the actual movies philosophies. I mean, they took, because those was actual Chinese philosophy sayings that you have sayings like patient son, or what's the other sayings? Patience. What's the other fucking sayings? But you would have those sayings in the movie. And in Wu-Tang's album, they cut from those scenes and shit. They talk about tiger style. Those philosophies, right? Now, for the most part, those taking on animal characteristics when you're talking about the art of martial, all right? But dealing in the real rooted philosophies and universal practice and cosmic healing and all that shit, they hold enormous weight when it comes down to what we know surfacely now through the Wu-Tang Clan, the rap group. All right? Because we looking at their code first, how they coded it. And now what we're going to do, we're going to break down and recode it. Because they didn't give it a crest in terms of what we digitally know as a crest, but they did with the W, right? They used the W as their crest in terms of their badge, their heraldry. Anybody who you can almost safe to say, because I know in silhouette magic, if you took that same kind of form, you will almost form a bird in shadow, right? But it's safe to say when you're doing that kind of sign, now you're doing the W, you're throwing up the Wu-Tang now, the W. And remember, we already broke that down in our coding of the black woman is God. We already told you what the W was, and number, and letter code, and in divinity when it comes to explaining medicine. And what I mean by medicine, I'm talking about anatomy and physiology. I'm talking about how the human body works. So that's all considered medicine, because people don't understand that. That's all medicine. That umbrella covers that. So when you hear me say medicine, I ain't talking about the shit you take. No, I'm talking about the practice that thereof to know how human brain works, how the spinal fluid works, and all this shit, and how the heart pumps. All right. Now, when the rap group introduced Wu-Tang Clan, they introduce you back to a place where Chinese, I keep calling them Chinese, Asians were depicting art. You know, they say art imitates life. So they were depicting their art. That's where they got us back going. Now, I don't know if that was supposed to have been a spark, to say the least. It was, just like how I said, Wu-Tang Clan is the base of a car. So they are the spark. Now here I am, master mechanic. I'm here to put wheels, fucking a goddamn exterior frame around it, an interior frame in it, so you can have your seats, your dashboard, your steering wheel, your motor, all that shit. I'm finna engineer this shit, because now we finna move forward. We went back to the past where it comes from, Taoism. Let me brush your memory on what Taoism is. Taoism is a practice, right? We all understand that is a practice of universal healing, right? Or cosmic healing, right? It's the study and knowing of universal laws, right? And in that, just a small description, that is the crux of where philosophies are now built. Now here come, I will tear their names up because I won't even try to pronounce their names. But here come the Asian artists, right? In terms of what you call motion picture, producing their own Chinese philosophies and ways of living to the world, unbeknownst to those who didn't have a privilege. Because I never went to Asia, but I know for a fact, I know when they depict that on a movie, nobody is carrying hay. Nobody ain't riding a donkey and shit like that. I know China is modern or Asia is modern, but I understand the philosophy. So when they talk about that, let's bring it into modern times where Wu-Tang Clan, I'm not taking nothing away from them, but they did not build a car. So if they ever say that they built the car, explaining the 36 chambers in the of what they assume out of Wu-Tang versus Shaolin, they did not build a car. They built the frame of the car. Now, if y'all look at my avatar again, that's the 36 chambers, right? This is universal information and practice from Taoism to where the movie, because in the Wu-Tang album, they talk about it, but it's brief and in pieces. And if you don't know how to code it right, it will break up. It will break up. It won't. It will sound unclear, but you would know. Oh, that's a cut from the movie. That's a cut from the movie. All right. Now, in the movie, there are 36 chambers, but there are only 9 entry points to these 36 chambers. Actually, it's 10. It's 10 entry points to the 36 chambers, and it's 3 steps. You gotta go through the steps, Don't that sound familiar? Listen to the universal applications here. All right. I'm finna share my whiteboard because we gonna write down. You know what? Yeah, we gonna write down these chambers. First, let me explain. The top chamber, like I said, is 36 chambers, but there are 10 entry points. And in these 10 entry points, you have 3 steps, but 2 of them is a special one where you have 4 steps to graduate up out of the chamber. Now, we gonna go with which they start with is the 3rd chamber. The 3rd chamber teaches arm strength. And in this chamber, it serves as 2 things, not only for training in arm strength, but they do their laundry in the motherfucker. All right. They do their laundry in there. So the first chamber, like I said, which is your 3rd chamber, y'all see that? Second, which is your 4th chamber. It teaches wrist strength. Now, wrist strength, this chamber is special, so we're going to put a star next to this one. That's a special chamber. Number 3 is the 5th chamber. Hold on. This is eyesight. All right. Number 4 is the 6th chamber. and that's head strength. Peace and love, NJ. I'm glad that you can show up. All right. Number 5 is the 7th. And that one teaches hand strength. That's a open hand. You know what? Let me erase that so it won't. All right. Now, this is where it gets tricky. All right. Because this chamber here, which is it's a hidden chamber, which is really your 7. Trust me. Trust me what I tell you. This is a hidden chamber. All right. We're going to go down and we're going to talk about this hidden chamber before I give you the 9th chamber, which is number 6. And this is remember we talked about this word? Staff. The staff. Not only that it applies to music, but it also applies to martial arts. Now, what is this hidden chamber? This hidden chamber is leg chamber, and sword chamber. Leg chamber and sword chamber. And the reason why that these 2 chambers are not numbered is because these are the isolating chambers. It's synonymous. It's synonymous with walking, that you use your legs and you create leg strength. For the most part, that's the way they travel. That's the way they travel. The sword chamber, of course, giving you combat skills and how to work a weapon. But the sword is also dealing with your tongue and also dealing with other apparatus in terms of the pen. Even though we know pen and the sword are 2 different things, but they do the same job. But they say that the pen is mightier than the sword in terms of that is because through the sword, you shed blood. Through a pen, you shed ink. But the control that's behind that, all right? We all know the control behind the black and white. And with that being said, that's the reason why they dubbed it as that. But the pen and the fucking sword, or the stylus, because that's the original name for it, the stylus and the sword are the same thing. Now you see 6 and 7 mix match, but you see 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, skip the 8th. Not skip the 8th, but the 8th is not there for a reason. And then the 9th chamber. After the 9th chamber, then you got your 35th chamber. We're going to go 8. I want y'all to pay attention because this is special. Let me put a star right here. That's special. Then we're going to go 8 for the sake of it. And this is 35th chamber equals lightness and balance. The last chamber, remember there were 9 members of the Wu-Tang, because I'm trying to tell you, they didn't break it down like this, but they had the concept because they was watching a movie, which is called the top chamber. You become a headmaster. You recite the Buddhist sutra from memory. So the highest level of the chamber is that you remember all your trainings and teachings with the philosophy of Buddhism and all of that at work at one time. So we're going to call that, we're going to say, headmaster. Not only that you work on your head strength in the 6th chamber, but when you get to the top chamber, you become headmaster. All right. Anybody see head, arms, legs in there? Of course you do. That's the reason why RZA, giving him the benefit of the doubt, and him being a 5%er, and him marrying the Wu-Tang Clan into the 5%ers, and him using 5%ers philosophies, you can automatically see arm, head, and leg in there. Automatically, you see that. Head, arms, and fucking legs, nigga. All right? Because there are 9 chambers. Because they are 9 in terms of that. When you look at the actual counting of the chambers, because we got to go from the top down. You understand? It goes like this. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of these 10, because leg chamber and sword chamber are 2 different chambers, you have 36 actual levels of application, because remember, you have 10 entries. Remember, I told y'all that. You have 10 entry points to the 36 chambers. These are your 10 entry points. Your first entry point is you step into the third chamber. You train your arms. That's the 9. You know what? I'm going to leave it like that because it oscillates. I think most people will understand it like this. I swear to God they will. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Most people will understand that shit to the right of them. Let me pull that out a little bit. Most people will understand everything to the right of that slash. So for the sake that thereof, we gonna go to the right of the numbers right here. So your third chamber, arm strength, 0 ground. You're on the ground 0. The fourth chamber is wrist strength. You on step 1. Fifth chamber is eyesight. You on step 2, so forth and so on and so on. So since you know you have 9 when you count in terms of novice, but those who are astute is 0 through 9. So just say 9. We're gonna give the sake of the doubt and say 9, but it's really 10 digits. We should do 2 forms of math here, and the 2 forms of math is this: 9 divided by 36 and 10 divided by 36. We should do both of these applications. All right. This is 3.6. That's how many steps when you taking the 10. The 10. But when you're taking the 9, this is how many steps are in each chamber. Right. So each one of these chambers has either 3.26, depending on how slow you go, or it has 4, how fast you learn. If you're a fast learner, you will go 9 through 36. If you're a slow learner, you go through 9, you go through 10 through 36. Because this is how you're going to count it. And I'm serious about this. And I'm going to put it on. Damn, my shit is in the way. Let me see if I can maneuver around it. Because most of y'all will do this. Y'all will start. Y'all will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to say that again. Most of you all will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And because most of y'all do the 10 right here, y'all go slow. As we know as the 0 chamber. We know the 0 chamber. And I'm going to show you in this oscillator right here, because let me do this right quick. For the masters of us that knows this count, that knows the oscillator, that knows how to count the right way and do it the right way, we know that it starts off with 9 and going into 0. So we know that 9 is the master's way. We know 9 is the master's way there. 10 is for the novice. 9 is for the masters. It ain't nothing wrong being a novice because for the most part, they science, you can use it. It's applicable because I apply it. I apply it. But with that being said, if you know mathematics now, this is all mathematics. The top chamber would make you the head master. The only way you can reach that top chamber if you have God body conscience of reciting philosophies that are conducive to the universe, right? When you are a master of doing that, when you reach that top chamber, this is after all the training that you've been through, physical training. Once you reach that point of tranquility and harmony, then you can actually settle yourself down, right? And not put yourself through exertion to try to prove yourself because you're already proven. All right. Every man in life seeks this, whether if they're a regular Joe Schmo on a motherfucking job or they trying to be the Zen master of the world like a Sanchez. What he don't know is that he's using these philosophies, but what he don't do is actually use these philosophies. He don't show y'all training and shit like that. And like, if y'all remember when I participated on Huey's, because I took a back seat to it. I need to start back up, but I'm very active as a man. And that considering I done showed myself walking around blocks. As a matter of fact, if you pay attention to one of my streams when I was going through the reunion, you see me, that's all feet besides me. You know, I drove, of course, but I walked home and walked back to the park, and y'all seen all that. But with that being said, when you illustrate in training, these are the steps one should have to go through in order to prove himself, even at a point of relaxing. Because how can you relax when you have not shown physically what you can do? So what the head master is doing, he's just chilling for the most part. And, he's just telling the other monks what to do. Now, in the 4th chamber, which is wrist strength, the 4th chamber, number 2, wrist strength. That's a special chamber because they also teaches you rhythm. Now, these are actual true philosophies here. Again, we're talking about Taoism. They say in this chamber, the monks must strike a gong with a weighted pole in the rhythm of a headmaster striking his wooden fish. Now, I don't want to get off into no Mason shit here, right? But Masons will jump on this shit and say, oh, that shit, that's really Freemasonry and all this and that. Okay, just say if was a fifth, we all be drunk, and it was, or whatever the fuck case may be. The philosophies show you. Now, this philosophy is older than Freemasonry. So obviously Freemasonry has stolen this philosophy of the wooden fish. And if you think that is a fake thing, let me show you. It's not. It's real as a motherfucker. I'm talking about. I'm talking about as real. Let me share my screen. Let me see if y'all can see that. Yeah, y'all can see that. So let me take my thing away and show you what a wooden fish is. This is a real thing here. A wooden fish. What is a wooden fish? Didact. A wooden fish, also known as a Chinese temple block. Remember, they like to slam gavels. What's his name? A lot of people like that one chick, that one loudmouth chick. I can't think of her name. Kia. Kia, is that her name? That one that said, "Lick me now, lick me good, do me like you should." Her, she always slamming the gavel. Vicky Dillard, she always slamming the shit out of a gavel. Our cook, he'll pick up his gavel every now and then and and get the slamming and this shit. Y'all can't fuck with me. Y'all cannot fuck with this philosophy, man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyway, I'm getting beyond myself, ladies and gentlemen. Let me stop that. All right, getting back to the board. Now, in number 2, where I got the star at, because this is a special chamber. Like I said, the 8th chamber, which is missing, which is the 7. Remember, I told y'all about the 8th chakra. I don't see nobody watch that shit, man. About like 36 people. Watch that, y'all. Watch it. Because it all coincide. Trust me. Didact coming up with this philosophy. That's the reason why I can explain it so well. But nonetheless, when you look at the second, the number 2 or the 4th chamber, which is the wrist chamber, that is a chamber in which you have to go to the rhythm of the headmaster when he's striking his wooden fish. So if the headmaster is striking his wood fish, you gotta use your wrist to pick up a heavy pole and strike a gong with it, which they call wrist training. That word wrist is so important. Oh my God, that word, because we finna play on some words, a few words today. We finna play on them. All right? Because the word wrist is really rest. Arrest. When you getting physically accosted by the police, the first thing they grab you is with your wrist. Not only that they grab you by the wrist, but have you ever heard of a piano? It's part of the tuning family of the piano. It pulls your strings tight. Let's go to some definitions here. All right. Because I don't want y'all to think didact is I don't want you to think that didact is jacking around here. Okay, I think it's okay. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen because what we talking about is also in human anatomy too. Because remember, we talking about wrist training here and what the word wrist mean. All right. Now we can say here in human anatomy, the wrist is defined as metacarpals, bones, blah blah blah. You know, your wrist, what you know as your wrist. Let me see if I'm sharing screen. Yeah, I'm sharing screen. Let me get my fake. Oops, my fault. Now, this is a double entendre meaning because when you look at wrist, it's what I know is that, okay, let me see if I can blow it up. Now, what I was telling you in piano tuning, because it's in the tuning family, it's a stud projecting from a crank as an attachment for a connection rod. That's a wrist. Now, let me look up this other. I don't know why I'm on caps. Let me get off the caps. I see y'all trying to hide from me. Just trust me. Let me see something. Let me see something. No. See, they fucking with me now. Hold on, man. Where's this word at? I'm trying to give you the etymology of the word risk because it it coincides. Damn. I don't know where the fuck is that. It's hiding from me. Damn it. I don't like you hiding from me, god damn it. It is really hiding from me. Let me see something. Let me see. No. What the fuck? See, it's hiding from me. I don't know why it's hiding from me. I guaranteed you the moment I end this motherfucking stream, it's gonna be the moment that I find it. It always work like that. But let me move forward because I don't want to get bogged down trying to fucking tell you what the risks mean. I don't know why in the fuck it's not coming up. Fucking son of a bitch. Anyway, now with us having an idea on the 36 chambers in the movie in terms of the Chinese philosophies in which they was trying to speak. Okay, I'm going to show you in this digit code. They I guess you would want to call it an avatar. I don't know. I use it as an avatar, but it's a digit code. You can use it as a key. It's definitely a key. Definitely that. It definitely draws the attention. I tell you that. And people are probably curious on how this shit is working. It's simple on how it's working. Now, in mathematics, what you would call supreme mathematics, it will be 7, 8, 7, 7, and 7, which is 36 when you're adding it up. 7, 7 is 14. 14 is 28. Plus 8 is 36. 8 is 16. 36. Watch how this works. I want y'all to pay attention to this and watch, because this is digit code. This is digit code. Let me go ahead and erase this. This is digit code, y'all. I'm going to keep that there so y'all can get a grasp. Now watch. If you see this line where it comes into this space right here, this meets up. Everybody shares these dots. That's you in the middle. You are the 5. That's you in the middle. I ain't going to draw through it, but that's you in the middle. The 8 dots. The 8 dots share among each other. They share among each other. 4 corners. You got your rhombus and you have your square. You have your diamond inside your square. Both of them are 360 degrees in terms of what angles is concerned, but they are shaped different. But both have an all equal size. And you can take even the square and turn it 45 degrees. It ain't nothing but a square 45 degrees, but it's a rhombus. It's a rhombus triangle or a rhombus square. That's exactly what the fuck it is. You got a rhombus and a perfect square. Now, if you know, in all 4 corners of the perfect square is where all of these chambers meet. In the middle of it all is where you are surrounded. And all where you surrounded at is 4s. All of it is 4s. The corners that you occupy is 3 and 5, which is your 8. 4 and 4, which is your 8. Your 36, but this is your Ogdoadic all day. When you're dealing with Chinese philosophy, they always point to the 5. Now, I don't know if anybody remember my last avatar, which is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 equals these dots that gives you your clock. And it's simple because it goes 1, 2, 3, which is your 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is your 2, your 2 pillars. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is your 3rd pillar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4. Oops. I made a mistake and put 1 extra line on that 4. It's just supposed to be 3. So 3, 6, 9, and 12. You got 5 right here, 5 right here, 5 right here, 5 right here, and 5 right here. In totality, it's 3, 6, 9, and 12. So you go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25, 12, 9, 6, 3. Let's do the math. This I'm going to do it. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. 3, 4, 5. 55. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 is 55. That was figured out in this system right here, which is a digit code system which the Chinese Taoists use. I sat there and decoded the motherfucker. I said, hold on, that looked too close to my shit. And when I decoded it, I said, oh shit, it all falls into this 36 chambers. Because if you look at the 36 chambers, you're actually dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 digits. You're actually dealing with 10. But when you at a master level, you know that 0 digit is without default. It's without default. So you can either count it or not count it. And it's the application thereof. If we're dealing with novice people, you'll count it, but you'll start with 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because they do not care for the 0 to the left of the number. They only care with the 0 to the right of the number. And with that, when you're talking to novice, this right here speaks volumes in terms of the code, the digit code, what it's saying. And that is rewriting one of the codes to the 36 chambers. Because those were 55 dots. This is 36 dots right here. Right? Let's look at it. How many dots right here? 7. 7. 7. 7. 8 in the middle. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me erase this. I'm going to keep that up there. I'm going to scoot by. All right. Ooh. Now, when you see in the 36 chambers how everything meets in the motherfucking middle, when you have perfect harmony in the balance of what's negative, we're going to say negative, positive, positive, negative, negative, positive, positive, negative. Is when you having this balance going on. You see how 0, 1, 2, apex. You understand that? Same thing here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. This is an apex. When they meet in when the numbers that are not meeting in the apex, right? When you do your math, that is the 7 numbers that are not meeting in the apex. Now, like I said, here's your 8 right here, and your 7, 7, 7, 7 is all around this way. Seven plus 8 equals. I think our cook, what's going on? John Doe in the motherfucking building. He said Shang Dynasty. Hey, if our cook gonna be watching this in the future, what do that number 15 mean? Anyway, let me take this off. What do this mean? Why does it stop there? Why would you stop there? Why would one stop there? This is what's hidden. See that 0? Most motherfuckers will want the 0 to go this way. 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 36 chambers. The 36 chambers is this. 3rd chamber, arm strength. 4th chamber, wrist strength. And I don't know why I stumbled over the wrist. Really looking up what the meaning of the wrist is. I don't know why the fuck it ain't coming up on my computer. It's pissing me off. 5th chamber, eye strength. 6th chamber, head strength. Let's go. Arm. Hold on. We're going to go arm. Arm strength. Head strength. Hand strength. Right? That all goes up into this. Right? Eye strength goes into this. Right? leg, head, arms, and legs. Legs, arms, and head. You can go like this. Or most people know it as this. This is true master, and I'm going to put beginner. And when you go through the Red House and Masonry, they'll teach you about this a lot. So you're going to be in the beginner stages. You may never ever get to the master stage. But I put the word master there so it can be easier to accept. But most people know that Allah. People don't know that Allah. So when you're talking about head, arms, and legs, when you're going through the fucking 36 chambers, now, like I said, this right here is an important one, considering this is the 8th chamber. Where can I'm going to put this here. The 8th chamber, which is hidden. That's what's hidden from you. It's what's hidden. That's the 8th chamber. It's number 7 in chronological order. But leg and sword chamber, to say the least, are hand in hand. Once you train your legs, after training your wrists and eyes and arms and shit, now you have to pick up what will be considered the weapon, your sword training, and then in the 9th chamber, you actually train him with the staff. Now, we all know what staff is. We don't have to go through that. But considering the staff as it's pertaining to, now watch this, y'all. What's going on, Linda? Glad that you can show up. I'm gonna share my screen right quick. All right, and put up here. This is what a staff is, y'all. One second, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. All right. What the fuck is a gun to the staff? Y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see that. A gun. Because remember, this is our staff here in America. This is our gun, right? Our guns look like this. All right, let me. This is how America. Damn it! Why did I stop sharing? Let me go back to share. This is our shit compared to Chinese. I'll see that. Oops. This is our gun. A Chinese gun is a rod or a stick. So when you're dealing with the staff training in the ninth chamber, you're actually dealing with the most deadliest weapon that they can offer at that time period, which was the staff, which they called the gun. But here we are in 2022, and our gun is more like a projectile shooter that charges using gunpowder and shit of that nature. And we all know what the Chinese are famous for, right? Then when they was the first ones that introduced gunpowder to the world, now you done entered this 36 chambers. Yeah. Now you at the 35th chamber where you got to learn lightness and balance with all the shit that you just learned. Now you got to learn how to balance it. You got to know what's in between. I know we all focus on what's above and what's below, but we don't have no balance. We don't know what's in between. And all that shit I just showed you with the Ogdoadic and also with the Chinese I Ching and both digit codes. I showed you in the middle who you are in the middle. You are 345. You are 345. So you being in the middle, that 5, because 3 is, and I'm going to repeat this over and over and over again. 3 in the Ogdoadic is your first 3-dimensional composite, not composite, your first 3-dimensional prime in which laws are going to be governed in terms of what our dimension is going to be. That's what the 3 means. The 4 is your first composite to which your third dimension is going to be built on. You need 4 corners to build this on. Not no flat plane, but you need 4 corners to build this on. Number 5 is you actually coming into fruition after everything has been manifest through the third dimension, the 4 corners in which what we know as our earth in terms of that. And then now you as a person, that makes you the 5. You are the 5. And 5 and 3 always meet on a corner. The 4 is what's in the middle in terms of that, in the base of the fucking composite. In order for you to have a solid composite, because look, you got 2 5s and 2 3s on the corner, but you got 4 4s. That ain't by coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ogdoadic. This is a master design. Some people will miss the design. They would not be a part of the master's design. And sometimes that's the reason why a lot of people assume to be coming back when they don't get the shit right the first time. And it's safe to say that because a lot of people don't get it right the first time. So they have to come back. So now I'm giving you this philosophy in terms of what is the 36 chambers. Because this is applicable to everyday living. We just got finished going over the decoding. of the 36 chambers in terms of what did Wu-Tang Clan introduce to the world or reintroduce to the world through Chinese movies? What did Chinese movies get their idea from? And where did the idea of Chinese philosophy comes from or Asian philosophy? We covered all of that. Now we at a point where we are breaking down and recoding the 36 chambers and what it means in the 10 base system. And when you take the 10 base system and you put it to both your what's above and so what's below, it will give you everything in between. When you when you take what's in between in terms of what you find out what's above and what's below, because this is didactic mathematics that I'm doing. I'm doing didactic mathematics, but I read it out of the text of the Ogdoadic, but I'm doing my mathematics. So when you take what's above and what's below and you find out what's in the middle of that, everything will start coming into fruition in terms of how a person, either they are spiritually connected and that's the way they move, or they disconnected. And you can use this information in terms of how you can gauge a person and how they move. And only thing this is a codex, because that's exactly what it is. It's a codex in which you can write around in terms of what you assume was applicable in terms of this universal application. Because it's universal, you can't escape it. 3, 4, 5 is what's sitting in the middle of this. And I just explained what 3, 4, 5 was. And consider 3 and 5 are on your corners of this symbol, especially the symbol I wrote. Let me put my avatar up. When you look what's in the middle of this, you will see 8 dots for that reason. Remember, we talked about the Ogdoadic. You have 4 4s in the middle of this, 2 3s, and 2 5s. Now, I don't want you to do the mathematics on that in terms of what mathematics is applied to that, but I'm just showing you the sequence in which this middle of this matrix square is showing you in terms of how you oscillate through the world. On the outside of them, you have 7 dots on each side of this. I'm going to call it a diagram. On the side of this dot matrix. This is the rotation in which your 4 and your 3 are interchangeable under the 8. Under the 8. And what I mean by 4 and the 3, I'm talking about the dot sequence. Because a lot of people don't understand. If you're going 10 digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you got 3 digits. If you're still going by the master digit code, which is 0, 1, 2, that's still 3 digits. And on the other side is 6, 7, 8. You can't change that. That always going to be 6, 7, 8. Even if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So with that being said, when you look at this symbol and this sign, it is the quintessential key to unlocking the secrets behind, or the sacred geometry behind, the 36 chambers. This is all what this is about. And I'm explaining it in a way where It can be easily understood. I'm explaining it in a novice way. Trust me, I am. It's way more complicated in terms of what all applications that you can put this towards. But what I'm here to do today is simply break down how the 36 chambers and what Wu-Tang Clan was introducing was only introducing the frame of the car. Now, what Didac is doing, Didac is introducing, not only reintroducing the frame of the car, but I'm introducing the whole entire car: steering wheel, motor, brakes, all that shit, seats, all that shit that you can think of. So it's up to you whether if you want to accept this vehicle as what it is, or you can dismiss it. I don't think I will lose any sleep over it. But to recap, because I'm going to go ahead and end this, just to recap on what I was talking about. 36 chambers is not what um it's not what people out here are misappropriating. I'm going to say that loosely because I see people out here misappropriating it. 36 chambers, if y'all wish to use simple gematria or simple digital routing, which is the additional digital routing, you can go 3+6 all day and give you wouldn't even understand where to begin after you do something simplistic is adding 3+6. When you hear other people's philosophies, because I know for a fact I'm going to have people watching this, and I know people are going to fucking eat on this. They don't know what the fuck they talking about when it comes down to this 36 chambers. Even though I simply broke it down, it was simple. It was a simple breakdown. That's it. It gets way more complex. It is a highly complex system, but I explained it simple because I know how the system works, because I am one of the co-creators of this system. Of course, I got blueprints from the Ogdoadic, from Taoism, from the I Ching, even from the fucking rap group, the Wu-Tang Clan, to talk about this. But it is my conception. You ever heard of a concept car? This is my conception of what was being explained. So now I look at the 36 chambers totally different now. I see what it is, and I'm telling you what it is. So with that, this is a quick breakdown of decoding the 36 chambers, recoding it, and the Ogdoadic geometry, sacred geometry, which I did. This is in the art of the martial. These are words that you should look up. I'm dead serious. Look that shit up, because I'm not gonna keep holding people's hands in terms of that. I don't want to be mean, but I'm not gonna keep holding people's hands. But check this out. When you look at, I'm gonna say this briefly because this is a simple one. Anybody know about artillery? Artillery? If you don't know what artillery is, look it up. It's spelled ARTILLERY, artillery. That's the reason why I got that subtitle, The Ill Will of the Art That Will Have You in an Eerie Place. Because both of them are hand in hand. When you're talking about an advancement in the 36 chambers, you will start to learn artillery from that point. Let's do this for the sake of. Let me see if I'm still on share screen. Yep. Remember, Chinese got the gun, right? Remember that, y'all. Chinese been made the gun. All right. But it was a staff. So let's do this. Artillery. Artillery, which is the ill will of the art that will have you in an eerie place. You ever heard of shell shock? That's where they get the word shell shock from. When a person is in a state of unbelief or disbelief and they seize up and their body can't move, it was these weapons that produced that fear. Not only that they killed people, but they also fucked your head up. Now, artillery, according to Wikipedia, we can go to other definitions. I'm going to let y'all go ahead and do that. Is a class of heavy military range weapons that launch munitions far beyond the range of power of infantry's firearms. So when you learn the art of martial, when you learn this, when you learn this martial of appropriate to war or warlike, let's go to Wikipedia if they got it. No, don't fuck Wikipedia, I guess, huh? All right. Martial definition in Webster Dictionary is suited for war or a warrior martial music. So when you are a martial artist, remember the 36 chambers express nothing but martial arts, the art of martial. And through all this expression of martial arts, it gets you to the point where now you can use what they call artillery. What we know as the definition today as artillery is this big ass cannon shooting big ass projectiles, right? That is just the artillery. That's just the artillery class. But artillery, we're gonna go etymology. Am I still sharing? No, I ain't sharing the one. Damn, I'm in the wrong goddamn one. That's fucking nuts. Let me go back and put up this. Damn. Okay. But you heard me saying the goddamn the definition. Okay, artillery. It's equipped arm, right? From the origins of Old French. Warlike mutination. Am I saying that fucking word right? God damn it, my shit is terrible. It's from an old French word, artillery. Collection of military engines, crossbows, and lances, and etc. Lances? That's the same thing as the staff. A lance, that's a staff. So if crossbows, lances, etc., are considered to be artillery, what do you think swords and staffs are considered to Chinese philosophies? Artillery. So when you see my subtitle, the ill will of the art that will have you in an eerie place, when you look at the word artillery, let me go ahead and share my screen. because I'm going to go ahead and end it off this one. Hold on for a second. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Let me go ahead and do this right quick. EERIE. 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 Hold on. Let me write that a little bit clearer. I'm gonna take this down. Let me write that a little bit clearer. We all know what EERIE is. We know what ill is, and we know what art is. So when I break it down, didact, right? Because you know, didact is a wordsmith. When you heard me on Huey, when I did have the opportunity to wordsmith play, I was the rawest at it. But of course, it get drowned out by a bunch of bullshit. But with that being said, when I give my rendition on how I break words down, just like with this word, right? It's missing the E. You can easily do this and get that. But this is really that's what it really means. So when you talking about spirit or sprite, you are really talking about a person who's spine on the right. Rites are rituals in terms of what this rite means. Rites are rituals in terms of what this rite means. So when you're talking about artillery, right, you are talking about the art of ill to make people eerie. Let's do this. All right. Eerie is strange and frightened. The definition of eerie is mysterious, strange, or unexpected as to send a chill up your spine. Eerie, eerie. Let me go back. Eerie, eerie, eerie. EERIE is spelled E-E-R-I-E. Here's your word right in the middle. Right in the middle of those two E's. Let's look at the spelling again. E-E-R-I-E. In between the E's spells what? Eerie. 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 Art, ill, eerie. Artillery. That's how we would say it. Spirit. Spirit. It's really a sprite. or to spy on the ritual. They always excited to always get new information on people with soul. So what they would do, they would sit back and they would spy on the rite. They will spy on the ritual. They will become spiritual. They will become this. The key word. Spy right. The right to spy on your motherfucking ass, nigga. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad that y'all showed up. Let me give a shout out to my motherfucking chat room, which was not big today. Weezygan 365, thank you for showing up. NJ in the motherfucking building. Star, let me see this. All right, John Doe, whoever you is, you are now moderated. With that being said, Star Energy in the motherfucking building. NJ in the building. Robert Humphreys is in the building. And Linda, I am not going to try to pronounce your last name because you hear me. I'm always tripping over words. With that being said, for people who showed up, for the people who are, thank you for showing up and showing out. And I will continue my information. And I'll see y'all next time.